Hey guys, my name is Stephen Ia, and I am going to be painting Monet's Flower in a Vase in the amount of time that I do have with my camera. My camera battery doesn't last long. TLDR or TLDW, I completely failed at my master study. There could be some say of the likeliness that I had gotten, but for me, I see that I failed at trying to recreate Monet's Flower in a Vase. Although it was very much a success in the grand scheme of things. It was a success on trying to understand what was going through Monet's head when trying to paint this and why he made these decisions of blue strokes in the leaves. When I first had seen it at the Philadelphia Museum, it really captivated me. It was something that you don't really see Monet as Monet, at least that I'm thinking of. And so when I laid my eyes on this, I was like, that's beautiful. This is another piece of art that I will be coming back to whenever I visit. I went to the gift shop and looked at the prints that they had, and it was the last print. So of course, I had taken it, brought it home, and chose to make a master study of it, my first ever master study. Before I begin with my story, you'll see that I pick up a bunch of paper towels. I figured out that whenever I wash my hands inside the bathroom or anywhere else inside my house, I waste a lot of paper towels because I would just wash my hands with soap and water and then throw it out. So now I keep them and I use them for whenever I paint. I also drank some champagne because I googled if Monet drinks, and it's supposedly said that he drank champagne while he was painting. So I'm doing more to recreate that. I made a recording after shooting this video. I'm going to play that now. These are some of the thoughts.
A few notes for this video. 1, it is my first ever master copy. 2, I had done it in under 2 hours. 3, I had a limited palette. 4, it was on mixed media paper instead of canvas, which I would assume be a lot more different. 5, there are some good things that I've learned from it and some things that are need more work. It's always enjoyable to be able to put oil down onto any surface. As long as I just start painting, it's so calming. It's painting as if transports me into a whole different world, and a lot of my worries go away. This piece of art and me become one, and I'm trying my best to stay conscious of what it's talking to me about, what am I talking to myself about, and consistently trying to understand, hey, does that look good? If I squint my eyes, does that feel good? Is that what it's asking of me? Does it look too perfect? Sometimes there's pieces that I'm like working on and I do a nice, beautiful stroke. And there's such a big part of me that's like, I want to keep this stroke. I want to keep it here. But the other half of me is like, it's going to go. It's got to go. And we're not going to try our best to fall in love with it. Out of either one pure accidental stroke from a very emotional stroke, I might mess it up, or from I'm gonna just destroy it because of how beautiful it is. Like, there is no perfection in this world, and when I'm thinking that I see perfection, I have to destroy it, because that is not exactly what we see, and it's not exactly who we are. So I take a lot of time to be able to just make something good, just to knock it down. I love painting, if you haven't noticed. I love looking at different artwork, to be able to have this creativity and culture, a place that you could go to be transported to a different time on this universe and see different cultures and inspirations of who we are today. It's so beautiful. I'm not sure about most museums, but I know that my museum here in Philadelphia does pay what you want on the first Sunday of the month. And now that I'm a member, I go as often as I can on weekends. But when I used to not be a member, I would always go on Sundays with my girlfriend just to enjoy the day while she studies, and I get lost in just beautiful art. I hope that it inspires you that some things are just not going to be perfect. As much as I love Monet, I won't be able to paint like Monet, and I'll never be like Monet, but I could try to understand what Monet saw by being able to sit in front of one of his paintings and as if talk to him through this mirror imaging, trying to see what he's thinking. It's like he's telling me what he's thinking about as I'm trying to understand what he's doing. So I'm like, okay, if I'm thinking, hey, I need some green here, or I need some brown, I'm thinking like Monet. Yet my stroke won't be like Monet. My eyes won't be like Monet. But the thoughts could be very similar and could teach a valuable lesson when it comes to the art that I will make in the likeliness of these impressionist artists who have moved so many people. I honestly had so much fun doing this. It was under 2 hours. I felt like I didn't have enough time. And to the points that I was running low on time, I started to rush myself. And I stopped trying to be like Monet. And I just took what he had taught me and ran with it for the rest of the piece. That very much shows with my amateurness of the painting near the end.
So we'll come back to my recording from the car after painting it and talk a little bit more about my continuous objective of trying to become an artist, and specifically an impressionist. I haven't really understood why I want to do this. It's about the same feeling I've had when I knew I wanted to become an editor or be in the filmmaking field. So I'm just following it. I'm falling in love with it, and I want to be able to show the whole entire world that I'm a complete beginner and everyone starts somewhere. It's so discouraging, but I started to follow in the mind of Rick Rubin and having to be creative. And to be a creative, you cannot compare yourself to others. It's not a race against another person. It's constant improvement upon your own self. So before you think of the audience, think more for yourself first. What do you want to see? How do you want to see it? And how do you work creatively? And that's something I'm learning through this process of painting, editing, and continuously living my life. So remember, be creative includes being yourself and having fun and learning more about yourself. Be open-minded and take risks. Now back to my car self.
Some of the things that I love in this piece are the vase. The vase makes no sense. The vase makes no sense inside this painting, but look at the shine. How simple it was to just put the brush onto the paper and just bring it down. Then fan it. One single brush stroke and just a few fans just to make it look like it's shining. The likeliness of reflection. I love the table. I love the table and the shadow of what it gives. It's pretty insane. You really do have to look at it from afar, because if you do look at it really close, it's a lot of blobs and mess. But from afar, it looks beautiful. In general, it also looks beautiful. It's like, sure, you can paint realism and, do your best to honestly just make something look like the real thing. But I love how I'm able to simplify something and still make it look like something else without having it to look like a cartoon in some sense or look unrealistic. It's beautiful. It's absolutely mind-boggling. And sometimes I think as making an art piece like golf, you want to be able to finish the course with the least amount of strokes. So as I'm learning from this master copy, I am completely understanding that I need to be able to do this within the least amount of strokes as I possibly can. And in short bursts sound crazy, but like a burst is like maybe 3. A burst is not 10 That's a spree. And that's enough paint on my brush to be able to put onto my canvas. So very quick bursts of this color be able to just show the direction and the likeliness of what is happening. And that's what I failed at. I failed at being able to do those bursts because I believed that I had to do it in like 10 strokes. And that's what muddied what I was trying to make. So I completely understand where Monet is coming from when his art looks like it's just dabs. But in all honesty, also, the dabs look like they've been feathered. When, yeah, they might have been feathered to be able to show something, but it's so hard to completely understand how that all works. If I had more time, it would be nice. But that's also one of my objectives, be able to paint beautifully within a short amount of time.
My camera's about to die pretty soon, so here's the side-by-side of what I ended up with before having to leave it. There's nothing that I really have achieved physically with how he painted, but I mentally achieved a lot of understanding how much this really takes. I plan to continue adding more things to this page and collaging a bunch of different art because I love doing that, and I hope that you guys can stay for the journey. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any suggestions on what I can paint or how to paint any better, and I'll see you guys in the next video.